let's introduce Heather Cushing. Heather's a senior, and she's a geography major with a concentration in geographical information systems, which we probably more commonly know as GIS.
Yep.
Heather has a fun idea regarding how here in Connecticut we can celebrate kelp.
I was also part of Dr. Heidkamp's class with Larissa and Danielle, and my idea is a little different. It's not so much a product, but a festival, which would be Connecticut Kelp Fest, first of its kind. It would be a two-part event to kind of shed light on the kelp industry and foster a network within within and between the various businesses pertaining to kelp, such as kelp farmers, buyers, restaurants, vendors, innovators, and also it would be a way to educate the public about kelp benefits, both environmentally and nutritionally. So the first part would be a one-day festival, which would be held probably after the kelp would be harvested. Kelp is harvested in May, so hopefully the end of May, beginning of June. And it would be held outdoors, ideally, and it would consist of typical festival events, music, scheduled educational and informational presentations by local kelp farmers and researchers, as well as kid-friendly activities to draw families. And we'd also try to incorporate some maybe kelp tastings and kelp dishes from various local restaurants, and maybe even have a kelp dish cook-off. And then there would be raffles, 2 restaurants promoting the next part of the event, which would be sort of a restaurant week. And then, so with that, customers would be able to purchase tickets to sample 3-course meals at participating restaurants throughout Connecticut, with kelp being the featured ingredient in all the courses. Tickets would be reasonably priced between $20 and $25 for a 3-course meal. And we'd also encourage local breweries, as the microbrew industry in Connecticut is thriving. I think there's over 110, and they could possibly come up with kelp beer, which I think some of them have. So the benefits for this, the restaurants would benefit. They would pay for a membership for that week, and it would help promote their restaurant, create communication between the restaurants and the kelp farmers, increase their menu options for vegan as well as vegetarian dishes, which they may not have currently. Kelp farmers would also pay for a booth, and it would provide the growers with more demand, enable networking between the kelp farmers and prospective buyers, and promote interaction between the farmers. And then the general public would also pay for a ticket to the one-day festival, and that would provide them with knowledge and create awareness about kelp farming and its environmental advantages. And again, it's in the preliminary stages right now, but I think a lot of people would kind of grab onto it, as Connecticut is a small town state, and they thrive off of community, and Kelp Fest its purpose would be to engage the community at all levels and cultivate interest for this sustainable, eco-friendly industry.
Have you read about garlic festivals?
Yeah. Yes.
You
Yep.
can sort of model it after that, but it's kelp. I mean, it's been done, and people have managed to get these things continuing on for decades.
Yep.
California was very popular.
Yep. Maine does have one too. Maine has some sort of a kelp week, maybe. They celebrate it. Yeah.
So I just put a couple of links for you in the chat.
Okay.
I helped somebody start an eco group called Live Green Connecticut a decade ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they basically run Earth Day celebrations across the state. The contact there is someone named Daphne Dixon.
Okay.
She can give you an idea of what things cost,
Yep.
how you get the word out, how you get, speakers and music and entertainment, all that kind of stuff.
Perfect.
We can help you.
Thank you.
By the way, the garlic capital of the world is Gilroy, California.
That's right.
Did you know that?
We
Listen,
do have a garlic festival here in Fairfield at Notre Dame High School.
Yep.
once you cook
Yep.
it, it's fine.
Oh, it's awesome. Put it on the grill and cook it. I haven't tried cooking kelp. Can you do that?
I guess.
Yeah.
Boil it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how many registered kelp farmers are there in Connecticut?
I think there's like 15 or around there.
Well,
I think it's growing. It could be more than that.
and is there an association of kelp growers?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's definitely a growing industry. I know that, there's a lot of interest. So I think it's there. I just think it's such a young industry that not many people know about. I had no idea that there was a kelp industry before I started doing this, before this class, in Connecticut anyway. I mean, I was aware of,
Hey, you could be the founder of the Kelp Growers Foundation for Connecticut and do as your initial fundraiser the Kelp Festival. You could make it your life's work.
Sure.
It's a good question. Is there any association? Is there any organized industry marketing? Is there any lobbying? I mean,
Yeah, listen, if there is, you want to speak to them, and you want to approach them as a compliment to what they're doing.
right,
Or they'll see you as a threat.
right.
So find out what's out there, and there might be an alignment with what they already have going that can help you start at second base versus home plate.
Yeah, Green Wave is a big, they do a lot of, they're a nonprofit organization in Brantford, so. I think the interest is there. I just think it's so, unknown at this point, but I'd like to get it out there.
So is there a cultural dimension to this? Matt in the chat was saying, as a beer drinker from Wisconsin, the idea of cold beer doesn't appeal to him. But I know that in Wisconsin, they've tried making ice cream out of everything. I had orange ice cream there from orange peels at one point, right? Is there, and I guess kelp is used in certain, wasabi and that kind of stuff, right? Is there?
Yeah.
Is there any kind of a cultural group that you could appeal to get started?
Well, I think vegan and vegetarian dishes, I think that, that would help incorporate those dishes into restaurants' menus, that like a menu, it would just broaden their menu. And it would attract people that don't eat meat. I mean, I think that, it's super healthy and very beneficial health-wise. So I think that that might be the route to take. As
Heather,
far as
how many varieties of kelp are there?
I'm not sure.
Well,
We'd be focusing on sugar kelp for Connecticut.
Oh, okay. But is there a what's the scientific classification for kelp or whatever? Anybody on the call know?
I'm not sure.
what was the question?
There could be some marketing clues in there. What the Matt? You're the scientist. What's the what's the
Hey, man,
Dr. Miller.
let's add this to the list of things about which I know less than nothing, which means what I think I know is probably wrong.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway, that could be, that could be flavors or something.
Yeah.
I suspect this cooking this stuff's going to kind of be like rhubarb, If you ever cook rhubarb, it's the first weed that's up in the spring. It's
I don't
delicious.
think it's that bad. I don't like that. I don't like rhubarb.
Mix some strawberries in. It's delicious.
Yeah, right. I guess maybe if you put garlic with it, it would be good.
Thanks for watching. For more information, visit our website at www.futurefrogmen.org.